Hello, my name is Daniel and I want to tell you how my math teacher repeatedly suggested to me to kill myself, and not only that. That woman simply made my life an ordeal. I'm not saying that all teachers are like that, no way. I have known extraordinary teachers in my life, but there are some, maybe small exceptions who do not have their place as teachers at school from my point of view. I did very well at school. There was no teacher who complained about me. I always went prepared for absolutely all the exams. I never missed school, and it never happened that anyone ever talked bad about me. I can really say that until the 7th grade I was the perfect student, but something changed after that, and it was not my fault. My parents started having all kinds of problems with each other. Because my father started having problems with drinking and there was chaos in our house. There isn't a day when Dad doesn't come drunk and start arguing. He fights with Mom from morning to night. Most of the time the police came to our house at night because the neighbors couldn't stand all the noise my father was making. Because he didn't just come drunk and make trouble, he simply made a fun of all the people around him. He played music at full blast. He screamed on the stairs. He often got into fights with the neighbors and so on. Well, you realize that in that situation I couldn't really pay attention at school because many times I couldn't learn or do my homework because I was living in that constant chaos. Sometimes I would try to find a way to study, especially when it was an important test. So I would wake up somewhere around 4 a.m. and try to learn the lesson as much as possible. I don't even mention homework anymore because I usually did it 30 minutes before the teacher came. Or I was also lucky with music class or drawing class so I could do my homework for the other classes. At one point I got tired and exhausted. I simply couldn't go to bed at 2 a.m. and wake up at 4 a.m. to study. I simply wasn't productive anymore. I had a bad math teacher, but she never behaved badly with me because she had nothing to reproach me with. Since with my parents, I have not been able to get good grades in math class, and she has started to offend and judge me. I didn't like to talk about the problems at home, but I thought it was appropriate to go to the math teacher and explain what was happening to me so that she would understand me. Let her know that I don't do this because I don't want to study or because I have other concerns, but because I have a difficult situation at home. When she heard, she simply started yelling at me and behaving badly. He told me that if I have such a difficult situation at home, it would be best to take my life if I'm still tired of it. I know it sounds harsh, but that's exactly what she told me, without any embarrassment. Well, from that moment that woman made my life an ordeal. I remember very well that I was shocked and regretted with all my heart that I had tried to talk to her. I complained to a colleague who was also my friend. Unfortunately, he was the only person I could talk to because no one else really understood what I was going through. Initially, I wanted to go to the director and tell him everything that happened, but I instantly changed my mind. I simply feel that I can't anymore. At home, no one understands. It makes no sense to talk to my father. And my mother constantly tells me not to worry because it's not that bad, that others go through worse things. I mean, I know there are people in worse situations, but our situation is bad too, and I have every right to feel bad about it. Well, I didn't expect the teacher to react like that. She just started insulting me and telling me that I should kill myself if I'm still not satisfied with my life. I mean, what words are these? I think I'm going to want to go to the principal to talk to him, you understand. For a student with a weaker character to hear such things, well, maybe he even listens to her.
Look, I totally understand you. I mean, honestly, my parents went through a bad divorce too. But I don't think it's a good idea to go to the director. After all, you know very well that she's his wife, and I don't think he'll ever argue with her just to defend you. On the contrary, she might even torture you much more.
Yes, I know. Well, in this style, I can't do anything. My parents won't do anything. No teacher will intervene. This teacher has no intention of understanding me, so I have to endure the scandal at home and the terror at school. Luckily, I'm stronger because otherwise I don't know what I was doing. You see, in this country there are many cases of domestic violence and things like that. It's a shame that teachers, teaching staff, don't give more support to these students. They simply don't want to understand.
Yes, they really should pay attention to these things, because when I had a family problem with my parents' divorce, I was the same. I was not able to perform at school, and of course no one gave me even a little understanding, although most of the teachers knew what I going through.
My friend was right. There was no point in talking to the principal because the math teacher was his wife and things would definitely have turned against me. I continued to do my work, even though it was difficult and, as I said, I could no longer study as well. The thing is, this teacher knew what I was going through, and even though she knew it was hard for me, she put more and more pressure on me. There wasn't a day when she didn't take me to the blackboard. There wasn't a day when she didn't give me an exam. He even started giving me bad grades continuously, and not to mention the fact that he started yelling at me in front of everyone. She was starting to offend me. She said right in front of everyone in the class that she doesn't care that my father is an alcoholic, and that if I come from a broken family, I will end up the same way. Do you realize what it's like for a young student to be treated like this at school? All my classmates laughed at me because they all found out that my father was dealing with alcohol, and of course, no matter how strong I tried to be, I gave up and ended up skipping school. I was warned that if I continued like this, I would be expelled, but I simply couldn't stand it anymore. I couldn't stand staying in that environment anymore. Imagine you two, staying at home in the middle of parents who are constantly arguing and then going to school and being mocked even by the teachers. It's not pleasant at all. My parents were called by the principal at school, and you can see that there was a huge scandal, and I was even hit because of it. I was forced to go back to school, and the maths teacher became more and more mean to me, until at one point someone inspecting the school caught her talking to me like that, and of course she was sanctioned for that. Teachers should pay more attention to students who are going through some difficult situations at home. Let's not forget that in this country it is not good at all in this chapter, and there are a lot of cases of domestic violence. As I said, that's why teachers should be more understanding with these students, not press them even harder.